You're not going to believe this. Neither the judge nor the jury in the Alex Jones defamation case had any sympathy for the psychosis Alex experienced that led him to tell all of his followers that the Sandy Hook shootings were fake, that there were no dead children, and that all of the grieving parents were just crisis actors. No sympathy. Instead, Alex was ordered to pay $4 million in compensatory damages and $45 million in punitive damages. It was a rough day for Alex Jones and InfoWars. Whenever I do one of these videos, I try to be as balanced as possible, and when I'm not balanced, I'll name my priors. So I must say, I think Alex Jones is an absolute lunatic. So this is not an unbiased video. If you don't know who Alex Jones is, he is, in my mind, the most popular, in the modern era, the most popular conspiracy theorist. He was a public radio talk show host back in the 90s, and then in 99, he started InfoWars, which is a conspiracy theory website where Alex and his friends go on once a day and pump out conspiracy theories at a prolific rate. And some of these theories are pretty wild. This is lizard people, New World Order type of conspiracy theory that we're talking about here, which, by the way, has been very lucrative for Alex Jones. Alex Jones talks about the incoming apocalypse and then sells supplements and survival gear that will help you in the case of this apocalypse.
You can't fucking admit they're fucking killing already born kids, so you're telling me it isn't real when they had a fucking vote in the goddamn Senate.
That's a conspiracy theory.
I am ready to beat your fucking ass. You think you're fucking tough, you're about to get it. They're killing already born babies. Stop fucking lying. God fucking damn it. I'm getting pissed now.
For the most part, Alex's theories are harmless, right? There's no real victim or there's no individual that gets the brunt of his audience's frustration, right? If Alex says the government is poisoning your water, the government is bad, but not an individual. If he says that the government is controlling the weather, again, the government gets the brunt of that frustration, but no one's mad at an individual when there's a tornado. But every once in a while, Alex has a theory that he promotes that really impacts an individual. So for example, when he says that Hillary Clinton is running a pedophile ring at a Comet Pizza, and one of his audience members walks into Comet Pizza and shoots off a round, that impacts the business owner. Now, as you can imagine, this is an even bigger issue when Alex says that all these school shootings are just false flag events created by the liberal elite in an effort to create more gun laws. And you have Alex's audience that goes after these fake grieving parents and calls them liars. And what happens is you have someone who has lost a child back in 2012 and then has spent the next 10 years being harassed by an audience that is led by Alex Jones. That's what this whole case is about, is Alex's decision to continue to push this narrative without any regard for the impact he is having on these parents. He's defaming these parents and making their lives a living hell. So the question is, why did he do it? From a psychological standpoint, what is going on with Alex Jones? What would lead him to, for so many years, pump a narrative out there that he knew was damaging the lives of so many people? Why would he do it? So there's four, I think, reasonably viable theories. One is Alex's theory, psychosis. Two, he's a narcissist. Three, he has antisocial personality disorder. And four, he has paranoid personality disorder. One of those four. I can't think of any other reason, any other way to explain this. Now, as I always say, I can't diagnose Alex Jones. I haven't seen or met Alex Jones in person. I am just reacting to the content that the media shares, okay? All right, psychosis is a ludicrous idea. The guy has no history of psychosis. It's just this one thing where he defaults into psychosis. It's way too opportunistic. The likelihood of a guy in his 50s all of a sudden having a psychotic break and having this coherent belief over time that happens to fit his narrative is exceptionally unlikely, right? If you had psychosis, you would have psychosis in other areas of your life as well. It wouldn't just be this precise little minute, this one little theory is psychotic, the rest of these things are all true. Totally unreasonable. I do think it is fair to say that you have a man that has created a career on identifying and discussing conspiracy theories. And so if you think about what he's doing, every day he has got to pump out more conspiracy content. So I think his worldview has been stilted in a way that that he is so much looking for conspiracies that he can generate them on his own. It's confirmation bias, right? He believes he believes the government is against him, and so he sees ways in which the government is harming him everywhere. And so there is a distortion of reality, but it is definitely not psychosis. That's number one. Number two is antisocial personality disorder. If you look at the impact Alex's words have had on the parents, for example, of Sandy Hook, there is no question that he has harmed them and intentionally harmed them. He hasn't shown any empathy or compassion. He's been ruthless. And so in that way, I think he meets some of the diagnostic criteria for antisocial personality disorder. Alex doesn't follow rules. He is constantly at friction with people. He antagonizes people. He's disruptive. All of those things fit the antisocial diagnosis. I don't know if you could say that he has a pervasive pattern of lacking empathy or being calloused, or like as far as his community, the people that he works with, I don't know that if you see that pattern elsewhere. And so for that reason, I don't know that if he totally meets the diagnostic criteria of antisocial personality disorder. So let's put it on the shelf. The next one, number three, would be paranoid personality disorder. Someone who has paranoid personality disorder experiences paranoia constantly. They think the world is out to get them. They think that there are problems left and right. They are skeptical. They don't trust anybody. They're constantly their heads on a swivel, right? And without question, if you just looked at the diagnostic criteria of someone that has paranoia and you look at Alex Jones, you would think there's a 100% match. My concern is that paranoid personality disorder typically, we call it a cluster A diagnosis, and people that are paranoid are usually odd and socially uncomfortable. So it doesn't really fit for a guy that has made a career in the public spotlight, a guy that has wanted to be on the radio early in his career, a guy that's made, you can say whatever you want about him, but he has the ability to inspire followership. He has the ability to be charismatic, and that social skill set, while it's not a huge component of the diagnosis, I think doesn't make it the best fit. Okay, so let's put that one on the side. And then the last one is narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder. And for me, this is it. Alex Jones, narcissists aren't just selfish a-holes. Narcissists are so focused on what is best for them that they literally can't connect with the experiences of others. So they don't lack empathy because they want to hurt people like antisocial people do. They lack empathy because they don't even understand the impact that they are having. And in Alex's case, I think he has a belief that he is all-powerful. He is the solution to all of the bad things in the world. It's all about him. He wants the money. He wants the power. He wants the control. He wants the attention. And he doesn't give a shit about how anybody else experiences them because they don't affect his world. He doesn't even see them. And so for him, this whole trial, while he's going to lose money, for him, it's all about how do I look? How do I use this to get more eyes on me and what I believe? I think he's a sick individual, and based on the information I have, I would diagnose him as a narcissist. But I'm curious what you think. Do you think it's psychosis, 2, it's antisocial, 3, paranoid personality disorder, or 4, narcissism? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for listening.